Shadows of fear, the sinister caller. The night was thick with an unsettling stillness, a silence that seemed to swallow the world whole. It was the kind of night that made the shadows stretch longer, twisting into grotesque shapes that danced just beyond the reach of the flickering streetlights. In a small town where whispers of urban legends echoed through the empty streets, a new tale began to weave itself into the fabric of fear, a tale that would soon grip the hearts of its residents. Maya Thompson, a 23-year-old college student with an insatiable thirst for thrill and adventure, had always been drawn to the macabre. She spent her evenings devouring horror novels and binge-watching chilling documentaries, often dragging her friends along for late-night ghost hunts in abandoned buildings. But this time, she was alone, an unusual choice for someone who thrived on companionship in her escapades. It was a decision she would soon regret. As she settled into her dimly lit apartment, Maya felt an electric charge in the air, as if something sinister lurked just beyond her window. The wind howled outside, rattling the old panes and sending shivers down her spine. She brushed it off as mere nerves and turned on her favorite horror podcast to drown out the unsettling sounds of the night. The host's voice dripped with suspense as he recounted tales of urban legends, stories of cursed objects and haunted places. But one particular story caught Maya's attention. The sinister caller. According to local lore, a mysterious figure would call unsuspecting victims late at night, whispering their deepest fears before vanishing without a trace. Those who received these calls were said to be marked for doom. Maya chuckled nervously at the absurdity of it all. Just another urban legend, she muttered to herself as she poured another cup of coffee. But as she sipped from her mug, a chill crept up her spine, a feeling that she was being watched. Suddenly her phone buzzed violently on the table, breaking through her thoughts like a clap of thunder. She glanced at the screen. An unknown number flashed ominously in bold letters. Her heart raced with excitement and dread as she hesitated before answering. "Hello?" Her voice trembled slightly. Silence hung heavy on the line before a low whisper slithered through the receiver like smoke curling from a dying flame. "Maya, I know your fear." Her breath hitched in her throat as recognition washed over her. This was no prank call. This was something far more sinister. "Who is this?" she demanded, trying to mask her terror with bravado. "Your darkest secret. It's coming for you," came the chilling reply before the line went dead. Maya's heart pounded in her chest like a war drum as she stared at her phone in disbelief. The words echoed in her mind. Her darkest secret? What could they possibly know? She had always been careful to keep certain parts of herself hidden away from prying eyes. As minutes turned into hours, sleep eluded Maya like a ghost slipping through her fingers. She paced around her apartment, every creak of floorboards amplifying her anxiety until it felt suffocating. The shadows seemed to grow thicker around her. They whispered secrets only they could understand. Just when she thought she could escape into sleep's embrace, another call pierced through the silence, a shrill ring that sent icy tendrils crawling up her spine. This time there was no hesitation. She answered immediately. "Maya." The voice was deeper now, more menacing than before. "You can't hide from me." "Who are you?" Maya shouted into the phone, desperation clawing at her throat. "I am your fear," it replied coldly. "I am what you bury deep inside." Panic surged within Maya as memories flooded back. Her childhood fears of abandonment and inadequacy that had haunted her for years, but were buried beneath layers of bravado and ambition. The voice continued its tormenting litany. "You're not good enough. You'll never be enough." With each word spoken by this unseen tormentor, Maya felt herself unraveling further into despair, a darkness creeping into every corner of her mind until it threatened to consume her whole. In an act of defiance against this unseen force, Maya slammed down the phone and rushed to grab a pen and paper. She began writing down everything, the fears that had plagued her since childhood, the moments when she felt invisible or unworthy. With each stroke of ink on paper, she felt lighter. Perhaps confronting these fears would weaken their hold over her. But just as relief washed over her like cool water on parched skin, another call came through. this time accompanied by an eerie static that crackled ominously in the background. "Maya, you can't escape me!" It hissed again before launching into a cacophony of laughter that echoed through every corner of darkness within her apartment. In that moment, realization struck like lightning. This wasn't just about fear. It was about control. The sinister caller thrived on manipulation and despair. It fed off vulnerability like a parasite burrowing deeper into its host. Determined not to let this entity win, Maya took a deep breath and steadied herself against the wall for support as adrenaline surged through her veins once more, a fire igniting within fueled by defiance rather than fear. "I'm not afraid!" she shouted defiantly into the void where shadows danced menacingly around every corner. Silence fell heavy once more before laughter erupted again, a sound so chilling it sent shivers racing down Maya's spine. But this time there was something different about it. It sounded almost weaker. With newfound resolve coursing through every fiber of her being, Maya grabbed hold of every ounce of courage left within herself and faced those shadows head-on. She would not let them consume or control any part of who she was meant to be. As dawn broke over the horizon, painting everything in hues of gold and orange light, the shadows receded back into their corners. The sinister caller's grip finally loosened its hold over Maya's mind, leaving behind only echoes fading away like whispers lost among rustling leaves outside. But even as daylight flooded back into existence, illuminating all things once hidden away, the memory lingered still, a reminder etched forevermore within those dark recesses where fear once thrived. And though life returned to normalcy for Maya, she knew deep down that darkness never truly vanished. It merely lay dormant, waiting patiently for another opportunity to strike again when least expected. For now, though, she had emerged victorious from one battle. But battles against fear are never truly won. They simply evolve, waiting patiently beneath layers upon layers until they find their way back into our lives once more. And so began another chapter in Shadows of Fear, a tale woven intricately between light and dark, where courage meets vulnerability amidst whispers, echoing endlessly throughout eternity.